You uncovered all. The only thing you found out was just a silly novelty way people like to just kind of waste their money. That's all that it is. It's not some fucking massive defraudment YouTube's biggest con. It's ridiculous.
All right. Well, that's your opinion.
Insane.
Damn, you're jealous,
Yeah.
Vince. So Scott,
I am jealous.
you
No,
you came out with this
good
video
though.
about 4 days ago. Obviously, it's really blown up, and you're of the position that I think in the video you outright say Established Titles is a scam company. The product is a scam, and Vince yesterday on stream basically. I don't know if you even saw any of it, but I know that Alex was messaging you about it. Vince contends that it's not a scam. At most, it's somewhat misleading marketing. But would that be accurate, Vince? You don't see it as a scam?
Yeah, I would just call it a ripoff.
Okay, and
I would call it like a ripoff. You know, it is misleading a little,
I
a little
mean,
bit, but
like a scam and a ripoff sound like the same thing to me.
scam and a ripoff. See, I would see like a scam as being like, like actually like defrauding customers. So like, Ice Poseidon selling like some cryptocurrency, and he sells it all and then he pumps and dumps it and then he takes $500,000 and everyone's screwed out of their money. That's what I see as a scam. A ripoff is something that's more of it's overpriced for what it actually is. Maybe it's not like the best deal in town. The company's making a little bit up, more off of the top. But to call something an outright
All right.
scam is
Well,
like,
so my issue with it being a scam is, and I know you think that you said that there's no one dumb enough to believe that you're actually a lord or lady, but from my channel, there's hundreds of comments of people who actually bought it and believed they actually had the title or they were thinking about buying it, and now they're not going to because they actually believe they get a real plot of land and that they're actually a lord and lady officially for this.
okay, wait. Wait, so you're just saying that so you had a bunch of people comment saying this was like a real plot of land and they feel like they were defrauded because it's not an actual plot of land, even though on the front page of the website it says clearly it's a souvenir plot of land. Like the one big contention I have with your video was you go into like, okay, they promote how it's a lord or a ladyship title package. Okay, great. But on your video, when you look at the top with like the timer and all of that, you don't go to the next part on the front page where it clearly states it's a personal dedication for a souvenir plot of land. In the
Dave,
video, you represented it as like it was some secret that the company was like withholding from you, and it's like in the fine print of the details. No, it's on the front page, clear as day, right there. It's even like in the
Dave,
same font size as the rest of the text.
they've made a lot of changes to the website since I made that video, so
So
a
the
lot of that was
screenshots,
added.
so the screenshots that I have go back 2 years of them saying the same thing. The
Well, I have
screenshot that I have
screenshots.
on my tweet thread was from a month ago before your video. So I made a big point with all my screenshots to take it from a month ago. So it's not like, oh, they came out with the video and they changed all the text on their website.
Well, the About Us page, which I have screenshots of, they added a whole new paragraph to the top to make it very clear that this is just a novelty item gift that was not there before. They also didn't have the actual tree total that they had planted on their website up until the day after I posted my video.
Okay, we're just talking about the souvenir plot of land. So
So most,
on the front page, they've had it for the last 2 years that it clearly
yeah,
states this is a personal dedication for a souvenir plot of land.
and most people don't know what that means.
But you don't disagree with that. Like, you agree that they have had that statement on the front page of the website, clear as day, text, same size as the rest of the text. They've had that for 2 years. So you
I
agree
would
with that?
have to go back. I would have to go back and look. I don't know.
Here, I can send you the screenshot right now. So this is from the Wayback Machine from... I have the one from 2021. I'll send you the one from 2020. Here, I'll just send you the one from a year ago, because it still stands.
And I'll pull it up on stream when you send it. So web archive,
In the Discord group.
nice.
So this is from March 17th, 2021. You scroll down, so you have like the banner image, become a Lord or Lady today. Lord or Ladyship title packs. And then right in the middle, same size text, it says, this is a purchase for a personal dedication for a souvenir plot of land. You may choose to title yourself with the Lord, Laird or Lady. So in the video, You make it seem like that they never mentioned this at all, that it's some secret that they're keeping from all the customers. But it's right there on the front page. They're being very clear about what they're doing. If this piece of text was in some like person in some like disclosure sheet that was like on the bottom and like some like super small text link that you got to go to 5 different websites to find, you know what? I would actually agree with you. But this is on the front page of the website.
Most people don't know what that means. You understand that, right?
But okay, it's on the front page though, right? It's clear. Clear. They have it right there.
Okay.
Because is it really a point to say, well, people don't really understand what a lord or laird is, or you know?
And another, well, I want to bring up the mention of laird. That's not actually a title. So I don't know why they constantly bring up you can be a laird. Laird is a description. Like that's not a title you can give someone.
Okay, but we're talking about on the front page. Okay, so we're talking about the point of it being a souvenir plot of land. And in the video,
Okay.
like I said this the third time, they say, you put in your video that it's misleading. They're not making this clear. That it's not an actual thing, but it's on the front page, and this has been here for the last 2 years. It's not like they changed it right after you made their video. And I don't know how more clear they could be when it's on the front page. So I think
That
your whole point
that
about
doesn't
them being a deception, a scam, with like, oh, they're not telling anyone about it, bro. It is, it's on the front page. So if you can agree with that they are being clear about what it actually is, we can
like I
move
said,
on.
most people don't know what a souvenir plot is, and it doesn't. They are very deceptive in their ads. I have an ad where they're currently running on Facebook
We're
right
not, we're
now.
not, we're talking about the deception of the company saying that this is actually not like a plot of land. We'll talk about the ad in a little bit.
Okay.
So your point is that people don't understand what a souvenir plot of land is, and when they say that, that means it's a scam.
They're being very deceptive as to what they're selling. Yes.
So how could you be more clear about saying it's a souvenir plot of land when that's the exact verbiage they use?
You could say that you don't actually own any land and you don't actually get a title.
Okay, I think souvenir plot of land is like pretty clear about what it is.
So
But even
What
if you
about the
don't
what about the
understand what it
title?
is, even
What
if,
about the title?
even if you don't understand what it is, they still say it.
just for a quick
If I
interjection, someone in chat is pointing
yeah,
out. They say talk about the scam hour counter. Do you guys know what he's referring to?
we'll talk about that after this.
Well, it
So
just seems
there's a
like you guys
couple
aren't really
points.
getting anywhere with this in particular. I mean, you know.
No. But my whole point is that they are clear as day. It is on the front page. So if you can say, okay, yeah, you're right. It is on the front page. They are clear about it. We can move on.
Well, I guess the point of Scott's point would be that that's not clear in the ads. Would that be your case, Scott? Like it's deceptive
My
marketing to
point
get
is
people in the door.
my point is them saying souvenir plot does not explain at all that you don't actually become a lord and that you don't actually get a piece of property. No one understands that.
Okay. What is this scam hour
And
counter they refer to?
how do you know that?
Okay.
I mean, that's just like an impossible thing
Because
to
there's
even like
hundreds of
figure out.
comments. There's hundreds of comments on my videos of people saying that they thought this was real and they feel scammed.
But how is that proof of people not understanding that the souvenir plot of land thing? I don't know. I mean, here's the thing: is they have it on the front page. It's right there, and it's like it's not like they hid this from anyone in your video. Like, oh, they deceive people and they hid it in the thing, bro. It's just on the front page. But I mean, if you want to think people are so dumb they can't even understand what that is, like clearly what your audience is, then
Here's the
we can
thing:
move on.
if you go to the supermarket and go and buy some Tide Pods, on the package it says "Do not consume." And the reason it says "Do not consume" is because there's dumb people who are going to potentially consume that, and Tide doesn't want to get sued. So you have to make it abundantly clear exactly what is happening. And they don't make it abundantly clear when they say this is a souvenir plot. The majority of people don't understand what that
No.
means.
When people eat Tide Pods, when it's on the packaging, do not consume. I mean, if I'm a third grader, I don't know what the word consume is. What it should say is do not eat. That's what it should say. But it says do not consume. So the reality is being a little deceptive with what they're saying. That's what your argument is.
They're being deceptive, yes.
So, I mean, like with the Tide Pod thing, it's like, oh, it actually should say do not eat, but when it actually says do not consume. That's your argument.
My point is that they have to put that on the packaging for legal reasons in case somebody were to eat it.
No,
Now,
but my
most
point,
people,
my no, no, no. My point is like, well, it actually should say "do not eat" because a third grader is going to clearly eat that, and they don't know what the word "consume" means. I mean, that's like a fifth grade level word.
okay.
That's like the point you're making is like people don't understand the exact word, so it needs to be like more clear. And it's like, I mean, it's laid out.
Saying it's a souvenir plot doesn't state that you don't actually own land and that you're not a lord.
Okay.
All right.
If you think I mean, if your audience is that dumb to not even understand what like a souvenir plot of land is, then we can move on.
Yeah. So I guess the next point would be someone in chat, they donated $2. They said talk about the scam hour counter. And I believe you talked about this a little bit yesterday on a stream, but Scott, did you talk about that in a video or no?
I talked about it briefly.
Do you want to explain what that is and your kind
They
of
have an
position on it?
hour. They have a countdown counter at the top of the chart that's always there. You can come back later on another day, and it'll just come back up. So I think Vince claimed that Amazon has a counter, so that's the same thing. But Amazon's counter actually runs out, and then it's gone. The established titles, you can come back another day, and the timer is back.
So I was wrong on that. I was a little bit disingenuous by saying the Amazon timer thing.
Okay.
But the whole point of having a nonstop sale in the EU, that is illegal to do. You like if you're gonna have something on sale, there has to be a period where there's actually like a non-sale price, like for
So
like a
you,
substantial period. But
wait, so
in
are
the,
you agreeing that they're doing something
but
illegal?
but in the United States, you are allowed to run never-ending sales. You might have seen those stores where they have like a liquidation sale. We're going out of business, liquidation sale. But you go there the next month, and it's the same sale going on. You're allowed to do that in the United States. There's been a bunch of lawsuits about it, but they haven't really gotten anywhere. So this whole thing about websites having like a never-ending sale with the timer, is it deceptive? Yeah, I would say it is. Is it illegal? No. Is it a scam running a never-ending sale? I wouldn't say so. Kroger's one of the biggest markets in the United States. They have a thing where it's like everything in the store is like 20% off. It's a never-ending sale. Is that, is it deceptive? I don't know. I don't really think it's quite on the level of being like a full-on, scam because the title of your video was YouTube's biggest con.
Yeah.
And the fact they run a never-ending timer, that's one example of the biggest never-ending con. I find it
My
a little
biggest
bit
issue.
hyperbolic on the language, but
Okay. Well, like I said, my biggest issue is that you don't actually get any land and you're not a lord and lady, and there's a bunch of people who think that's real. That's my
this
biggest
was a
issue.
point you made in your video.
Okay.
So you clearly thought there was some merit to it.
Yeah, so that's a very common practice of a lot of these scammers who I've talked about in the past. Specifically, there's a guy named Kevin David who just got sued for like $53 million. He was an Amazon FBA seller. He sold this Amazon FBA course online for like $30,000. And he did the same thing where he would have a timer that would never end. That's how a lot of these guys would sell these fake guru courses. So it just really irks me that this company is doing the same exact thing that a lot of these scammers do.
But it's a legal thing to do in the United States. I mean, stores do it all the time. Run never-ending sales. Hey, we're liquidating all of our business, going out of business, but the store never goes out of business. It's legal to do in the United States. Is it,
All right. They're not a US company.
but they're selling these in the United States.
They're selling them worldwide.
But
The
all these
timer's
YouTubers
everywhere.
have. I don't know. I mean, you bring it up as like a scam, that being like some part of the scam. But, in some countries, you're allowed to do it. Some countries are not allowed to do it. Is it breaking the law? No. Is it breaking a consumer right? Yes. And the most these companies have ever gotten is they'll get some kind of lawsuit, maybe some fine, nothing really big. But
So, whatever.
So another
Okay.
another
I just don't see it being some huge point, and this is why it's a scam because they run a never-ending sale. They run a never-ending like it's just
someone who
I don't
donated
know.
$2
And because
to respond to you, Vince says a legal scam is still a scam. So what would you say to that? I mean, obviously you're saying it's legal, but does that make it right or okay? I guess.
scam is like defrauding people, like pump and dumping a coin, selling a kit for your car, saying, "Hey, if you buy this kit for your car, you can run your car on water." Clearly, that's not possible. You can't do it, but I'm selling the kit. and I'm showing people you could run your car on water. It's the greatest thing ever. And then when people get the kit, your car doesn't run on water. That's a scam. But something that's a ripoff is like, when you file your taxes, you can do your taxes for free from the government. You can get all of the forms, you can get everything you need to do your taxes for free. But then you have TurboTax, where they're like, hey, you can do your taxes with us, blah, 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 blah. And, we'll take out, $500 out of, your whole fucking thing. Is it a scam? No. Is it a ripoff for what you're getting? Yeah, kind of. And I think at the most, what this is just a ripoff. Yesterday when we were talking to Alex, okay, so we can go into the next point about this whole thing about the trees and, the trees not being planted. So before we get into it, we can both agree that they have planted at least 2 million trees.
That's what they claim. Yeah.
They being established titles and they being the, what is it, one tree? One tree planted?
Whatever the company is.
So the nonprofit themselves have also said they've donated this amount of money, we've planted this amount of trees.
Okay.
So what's this whole point about the trees not being planted? The nonprofit themselves is saying, yep, we planted the trees, we took the money.
So a lot of people have been misrepresenting what I said. I said that they don't actually plant any trees, which is true. A lot of YouTubers have been saying they plant trees, but they actually just donate to a charity. So they personally do not plant trees. And then my second case was they didn't show how many trees they planted on their website. And I have proof of that. When I made the video, it just had a total amount of about 40,000 pounds, and they didn't have the 2 million trees planted. They added that the day after I made my video.
Yeah, that I've seen, but how does that make it a scam?
That was my point.
People bought these titles. They're bullshit. Don't get me wrong. They're basically the paper that they're on is worth more than what it actually is. I agree with that. And then they're planting trees in the person's name. But if they're actually planting the trees, which is what they're saying they're doing on their website, like,
do you know how much it costs them to plant that tree?
Do you know how much it costs a company to make a handbag when they sell it to you for $500?
They're charging
it costs like that's just such a ridiculous argument to make. Like,
they're charging
the profit
people
margin
anywhere
they're
from
selling
$50 to $200, and they're planting a tree and it costs them 25 cents.
That's good business. What do you want? What do you want them to do? Do you want them to take the $50 and put it $50 towards planting trees? That's not a business. They're a business. Scam. How is it a scam? It isn't. No, they're saying they're planting trees when you buy something. They're planting the tree. A scam would be, hey, we plant the trees if you buy this title, and the trees don't get planted. Then I would agree with you that the thing's a scam. But they actually plant the trees.
Don't you think that if they put on their website?
But you're saying
they put on their website that they told people, we're charging you anywhere 50, 250, depending what package you pick, and then they tell you we're going to donate 25 cents to plant a tree. Don't you think that pissed a lot of people off?
Do you know for a matter of a fact that they take 25 cents out of their profit margin?
You can look at the two different websites, and one of them has the listed price at 25 cents. And they say,
do you know that they're planting one tree for every person that buys the title?
They say that on their website. We plant one tree for your order, one.
So if they plant the tree, what's the problem?
It's the biggest con ever.
I haven't seen that about the. So it's on their product page saying that they plant one tree per one title pack that you buy.
Yeah.
But okay, let me just check it out real quick. Lordship pack, 1 square foot of land. We plant a tree for every order. Okay.
There you go.
They plant a tree. They
paid $200. They spent 25 cents.
Okay. Look, a scam is them saying we're gonna plant 100 trees per every order, and they plant one tree. That's a scam. But they're saying what they're doing. They say it right there, clear as day. We plant one tree, they plant one tree. The fact that you think it's, they're only spending 25 cents when they should spend more, that's a ripoff. That is your opinion. But at the end of the day, that is a business. It's a business, and that's a great fucking profit margin. Do you think when these huge companies say for we're going to be working with this nonprofit, and we're going to donate like a huge portion of our proceeds to, whatever the hell it is. It is fractions of a percent of what they actually donate. So it's like I don't see the problem with this. There's nothing deceptive about what they're doing. It is on the product page right there.
You don't think their marketing is deceptive at all?
We're talking about the tree thing.
You just said there's nothing deceptive about what they do.
We're talking about we're talking one point at a time, so this conversation doesn't get convoluted. They say they plant one tree. They plant one tree. The fact that you think they just plant one tree for 25 cents and it should be more. It's like, that's a ridiculous fucking argument to make. It's like,
No, it's not.
how much should
If
they
put
spend
that-
then, Mr.
If
Businessman?
they put that on the page saying that we're only donating 25 cents to plant one tree, I guarantee you their sales would go down. I guarantee it.
It's fucking marketing. It's wording shit to make it sound better than what it is. They plant one tree. That's what they do. Fuck. Like, I don't know.
Very scummy marketing.
But is it a scam? No. They literally say they plant one tree. There is no argument here. Your whole thing about
My aspect to the scam is about the Lord and Lady title and not getting a plot of land.
you brought up this tree thing as a point in your argument. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
So just to be clear, you think the scam is so in your world, how many trees should they plant per a $50 order? What's fair to you?
I think that a good, 10% of your total order should go towards planting trees.
10%.
Not 25 cents.
You think a 10% margin is what they should put towards their thing?
It literally costs them nothing for their package. They bought the land years ago. There's no cost to them when you buy a package at all. It's pure profit.
Have you looked at their P&L statements? Do you know that?
I know based on what they're doing.
You don't
They
know.
bought land years
you
ago.
haven't looked at their numbers. You're assuming right now. The one number you actually do have is they plant one tree. And the fact that you think it should be more, that's your opinion, man. It's like me saying with the TurboTax thing. Man, TurboTax should be cheaper, man, because you can just get the tax documents free from the government. Okay, that's an opinion. That's, maybe it's a ripoff. I agree with you, it's a ripoff. But is it a scam? Fuck no. And the fact that you bring this up as a point in your video to say, this is YouTube's biggest con. The company that says they plant one tree per your order. It should actually be more. Like, what the fuck? This is like straight up donations, donation shaming. Oh, they should do more. They're at least they're doing something. You know how many companies don't donate jack
that
shit?
I called out like a 25. I would much rather people just donate to the actual charity than buy this stupid piece of crap.
I agree. But that doesn't make this thing a scam. I agree with your point. If you actually want to go plant trees, go donate to the thing yourself. But then the same thing could be said about every company that pledges money. Well, In-N-Out's running this big thing where they donate a portion of their proceeds during December for like this addict recovery, center thing they, do. And every time I buy a burger, they donate the proceeds. Okay, whatever. But I could just go donate the money straight to the addict thing, and I would give them more money and, all that great stuff. But it's like, at least they're doing something. If this was a company that just sold you a fucking bullshit title like this, okay, you know what? Like, yeah, then it's like that's a fucking, I think it's a ripoff either way. But the fact they're even doing this, like, they don't have to do this. There's so many other these title companies that don't do jack shit.
Well, I mean, they have
And
to
just
do
to be
it.
clear,
That's
just to be
part of their
clear.
selling point.
Just to be clear, I'm not dick riding established titles. I've never done a brand deal with them. I never want to do a brand deal with them. I don't like the business. I don't like what they sell. Everything that you're kind of saying where it's like the product's a piece of shit. I agree, bro. But a scam is like, it's anything but that.
Well, I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree on that point.
So you think they should, okay, so just to be clear, you think it's just the fact that they plant one tree, man, it should be 10% of the fucking margins.
The tree part was a very small part of my actual video.
You literally brought this up. I didn't bring this up. You brought this up as some point in like, this is why it's a scam with the tree thing. You brought this up, bro. I didn't say anything about this.
My point in the video was that two things. They
No, no,
don't
no, no.
plant any trees. They don't plant
So
any
the,
trees, which
oh
a
wait,
lot of YouTubers have been saying. A lot of YouTubers have been getting that wrong, saying that they plant trees when they don't plant any trees, and that they didn't provide proof on their
Oh shit.
you just cut
You
out.
cut out.
website at the time, which they
Wait,
fixed
wait.
after my
Scott,
video.
Scott, you cut out.
Could you just repeat that line just one more time? You cut out a little bit.
The whole thing.
Sorry.
I guess
Just like
just summarize it. I guess I'm
the part with
sorry.
the YouTubers.
Yeah.
The
So,
part with the YouTubers saying they plant the trees.
so YouTubers have been saying it wrong, saying that the company plants trees. When they do not plant any trees, they donate to a charity. And I said that they don't show how many trees they planted on their website. Now, since then, they have corrected that, but that was the truth in my video when I said it.
But they planted the trees.
My point was that they didn't provide any evidence at the time, which they didn't.
But there's evidence now.
Okay, so they fixed that problem, but I was clearly correct when I said that in the video.
No. You came with a baseless accusation saying they don't plant any trees. There's no evidence to prove it. You never asked. You made a hit piece on this company without even talking to the CEO or any of the people involved. I mean, actually, I don't even know. But it seems like you didn't, because you could have gotten this information pretty easily from them. But you chose to run this hit piece, half-ass evidence, and just expect to just kind of figure it all out as the fucking, the whole thing fucking implodes.
No, my point was they didn't
Because
provide
if you
evidence
actually
at the
did
time.
your
That was
if you
accurate.
actually did your work and you found out that they actually did plant the trees and there's evidence from the nonprofit, like that's a fucking stupid point to make.